Hey folks, it's the Red, and welcome to an extra video for Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, where I show off a few little odds and ends and other neat stuff. So first up, let's have a closer look at Banjo's snazzy little tuxedo here. This is what you get for beating the game. You pretty much can wear it into all of the worlds. This is pretty much how Banjo looks now after you've completed the game. And as you can see, Kazooie has a little bow tie on her neck as well. I imagine there might be some way to go back to the original look, but I wouldn't know how to do that. So as far as I know, you just keep this for the remainder of your game save. So, yeah, there's that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few jiggy missions that I want to get a little revenge on. So first up, we're going to go replay this infamous kickball mission that gave me so much trouble. But this time with a custom vehicle and a new strategy. First, we're going to place this little football player blow up on the button, and that's going to cause Target Zan to continuously spit soccer balls like so. Now we can gather as many as we want, and with our super shopping trolley, we should be able to carry back 3 of them at once. And yeah, he's just gonna keep spitting soccer balls until a hard limit has been reached. It'll only allow so many balls to be on the field at once. And just like that, we already need one more and we'll get the jiggy. This would have been so much nicer to do earlier. Oh, but the best part is yet to come. Let me just get another 3 in there. Yeah, this was quite a challenge earlier, but yeah, even those purple grunt bots are not a threat. Because I can just run them down and they can't stop me at all. They can't even get to the balls because they're inside the cart. So yeah, I could just load the balls into the super trolley and then just ramby right through everything to the goal line. It's quite humorous. Let's see if I can get the TT trophy this time. Looks like one more will do it, so let's get back over there. Don't even count. Those things sure go flying. I seem to remember those really slowing my car down whenever I ran into them. Let's get a few more in there. I only need one more, but hey, let's see how many more we can get over there. That's great, I don't even need to watch where I'm going. It's just straight lines to where the target's at. Whoa, okay, I'm a little overkill. Oh well. I've got my 10 points for the trophy, so I guess that's good enough for me. Well, I guess I'll see if I can get a few back there. I don't need a football player. Come on, one more. Okay, I don't think I have time for that. 2 more. One less bump in the front lot for good measure, and we are done. 14, good for a TT trophy. If only it could have been that easy before. Back of the net! A result like that deserves a golden boot, which I don't have, so take a bunch of other stuff instead. But we're not quite done in Banjo Land yet. Do you remember this challenge? This is one of the challenges that I believe that you needed the sticky ball in order to airlift the trash into the trash can, but as it turns out, you don't actually need the sticky ball, or a vehicle for that matter. You can get through all this using just your wrench. The first thing you have to do is knock over this trash can, because, like the trash itself, the trash can itself can also be lifted with your wrench. I was trying to knock it over with the wrench, but it wasn't really cooperating, so we'll pick up the trash can, tilt it against this hill here, get an angle, and it should fall on its side. Now all we have to do is pick up the trash and put it into the side. Because this is how you throw away trash, apparently. But yes, I imagine the proper way to do this mission would be with the sticky ball, but as you can see, this way is good enough for the TT trophy. The thing about the sticky ball, though, is while you could be using it to get the trash into the can, you could also accidentally touch the side of the trash can, and that could really mess up your run. That's doing it properly. Wowzers, this place hasn't looked so clean since, well, it hasn't been so clean. Top marks, Banjo. Why, thank you, Boggy. And here's the Grab by the Ghoulies game case up close. And there's the purple front bot to ruin everything as usual. God, I haven't missed this place at all. My apologies for the sudden decrease in video quality, but I felt it was necessary to show my next point about how the small text really affects the game. See, this is 4:3 aspect ratio, and the video quality is 360p. So most people will be viewing the game like this. Well, maybe not most people, but a lot of people. See, this is a game that if you play this in anything less than HD, it's really not going to look that good. And I would cite this as a good example of that. So, let's see how a few missions are going to look under this setup as well. So, here's another mission I would like a do-over on. The very first Grunty challenge back in Nutty Acres, where we had to blast the cocoa out of her car. The big coconut. It took me ages to do this because I did not have the appropriate vehicle for the job. But now I do! Now let's go ahead and go over to my blueprints, and we're gonna bust out the good old Mega Buster, and show Grunty how it should have been done before. Right, so we'll just wait for her to pass in front of us and blast her! And again! And again! And it's already over in 4 seconds! Wow, get properly equipped and she doesn't stand a chance. It really is that easy. I was just making it look a lot harder than it actually was. The Loco Coco is lost for all time. All I have left is my talent for rhyme. So, with Grunty foiled properly now, I can lay some satisfaction on this challenge that wound up making one of my weaker videos of this series. Oh, curse you, Grunty. So now we're back at the first Mr. Patch battle, and I'm going to do what I should have done from the beginning. Build a new vehicle. And now it's time for the Funky Flyer to take flight. Alright, with my new vehicle now built, it's time to get to action. Okay, so it's got a little bit of a rocky spring start there, but we seem to be okay now. But this thing has plenty of firepower going for it. I also came to realize that all the patches on Mr. Patch's body are in the same places as where they were back in Banjo Kazooie. So if you can remember them there, you will do just fine here. Possibly, depending on your vehicle of choice. I'm hoping that with a little more guidance, I'll be able to do this challenge a little more effectively. And I will be satisfied with just the jiggy. Try and get that one on his chest. There we go. Took a few hits. Well, I took out a few others. We're halfway there, so now the grunt bots are going to attack. Yep, there they are, right on time. Let's just hurry up and get this done. Should be one on the back of his head. Yeah, I didn't quite get it. Wait, oh, dang it. Did that grunt bot just kill itself by throwing itself into Patch's face? Alright, we got good shots. There we go. Oh, my. Okay, a lot of parts just flew off, but nothing important it doesn't look like. Alright, just one more to get. Still in good shape for the jiggy. Just remember where that last one is. Oh, but these grunt bots gotta go. Oh, getting too low there. I gotta spring back up. Shit. I like my spring-loaded launcher. Alright, let's see if we can find that last patch. Wait, is that it? Yes, it is. Okay. Alright. So, revenge is had on Mr. Patch 1. And we come out with the jiggy that we should have had originally. Wonderful. He always was full of hot air. Mr. Patch popped, but nuts no have sunlight for a long time. Humba grateful and give jiggy, but thought job would be done faster. Oh, Humba, I did just fine. Thank you very much. Your nuts are safe. That's good enough for me. I'm out of here. And so, since the game didn't do it for us properly during the ending, let's go ahead and roll the credits ourselves. We can access them from the main menu. Oh, well, that's just sad. But now we begin the credits roll. Right, let's get to it. First of all, what did I think of the game overall? Honestly, I didn't think this was a bad game. I rather enjoyed it. It was something different. It certainly is not anything like we've seen in the Banjo Kazooie series before. But for the difference that it is, for how different it is, I feel like this game was pretty fun. It certainly isn't the childhood-ruining pile of crap that a lot of people I've seen make it out to be. No, not even close, but it did have its fair share of problems, and I would like to go ahead and get those out of the way, and then build up to what I liked about it. First of all, my biggest problem with this game, hands down, is the text boxes. I have three major problems with them. First of all, the text is too dang small. I swear, it's like, the font size is like 6 or 8. It's so small, and on such a big screen, there's just no reason for that. The text boxes are also inconsistent, in that some of it auto-plays, and some of it is advanced with the A button. I kinda wish they would have just picked one or the other. and the text that does scroll by automatically does so too fast. I mean, if you look at the text boxes in the game, it just kind of... all the text goes up on the screen in like 1 second, and then you have like a set amount of time to read it all before it advances to the next box. This was really a problem when it was trying to explain what I have to do in each mission, and at some point I just stopped trying to read the auto-playing text because it was going by so quickly that I would just wait until the mission description would appear during the vehicle select screen. What I think would have been better for these text boxes is if they went back to the original style, back in the first Banjo Kazooie games, where it slowly crawled across the screen, and you could speed it up if you wanted to by holding the A button. That worked out nicely. Why did they abandon that? Anyway, the text boxes apparently have been patched in later versions of the game, and you can actually fix that by going to the options menu. However, I didn't have this patch, and that's why I had to play through the whole game with the smaller text. But really, the small text shouldn't have been a problem to begin with, and so yeah, that's a pretty detracting point for me. Another one of the problems I had with this game was the uncompletable missions. A perfect example was the trash challenge, where you had to pick up all the trash and throw it in the trash can. You're supposed to use that using a flying vehicle and the spike ball in order to pick up the trash and drop it into the can. Problem is, as you saw in this LP, I didn't get the sticky ball until I was at the Terrarium of Terror, well after that challenge was first made available to me. And I don't think you should be able to do missions like that if you don't have the equipment necessary to complete them. I mean, if the game can regulate when I get the items from Grunty, why not stuff like this? It just doesn't seem like a very good design to me. So the game could effectively throw you into a mission that you can't complete. And I just don't think that's right. And other than that, I don't think the game... I can understand people's argument about how this isn't a Banjo Kazooie game because it doesn't tie in with the first two very well. The first two were platformers, and this is a car building game. I can understand people's argument about that, and people are rather upset that this is now being considered part of the Banjo Kazooie series. I mean, it is, for all intents and purposes, the third game of the series. It continues the story of where Banjo-Tooie left off. So I guess I can kind of understand what people are talking about, but honestly, as a Banjo Kazooie game, I don't think this is that bad. It certainly could have been worse. The music was a bit of a mixed bag. There were a lot of really good original tunes in here. I rather like Showdown Town's music, and I like the battles with Grunty. But some of the mission music that you hear in the game, you hear the same, like, 2 or 3 throughout all the game worlds, and it does get kind of grating after a while. I just kind of wish there was a little more variety in what we could listen to. But overall, I'm not terribly displeased with the music, but it could have been better at certain parts. So other than that, some of the things I did like about the game were the graphics. I think all the characters look nice and detailed. The environments all look very nice as well, albeit they do look a little empty at certain parts, but what's there, yeah, I think it looks very good. And I think Banjo is rendered very nicely into HD. Gameplay-wise, well, for a car-building game, it still does feel a bit Banjo-Kazooie-esque, the sort of things you're doing in the Jiggy challenges, like you'll have to go to point A, collect all these things, and then bring them to point B. There was plenty of that in the original games, and if there was going to be a Lego car game based on Banjo-Kazooie, I would think this is the way to do it. So, no real complaints there either. But some of the missions do feel a bit samey. I will admit that much. I mean, you have a whole lot of drive through the rings to complete the challenge, and a lot of get these things and bring them to point B missions, and then every now and then you'll have something original like at the Jiggoseum you had to knock over all those dominoes, or the one in Nutty Acres where you're coasting down the side of the volcano. I thought those were cool, and I kind of wish the game had more of those. But in the end, this game, I can't believe I'm having to admit this, but this game could have been a lot like Crash Tag Team Racing if they would have made the game like 50% cars and 50% platforming. I don't think that they should have abandoned the platforming altogether. I think that if they had kept some of the original platforming elements and combined it with some of the car elements, it could have made for a very nice game. Like, you could use the platforming to get more parts to make your vehicles, which is essentially what this game did too, but to a lesser degree. This game is like 95% car driving and 5% platforms, and most of the platforming is on the roofs of Showdown Town, and not very fulfilling at all. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. So overall, I'm gonna give Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts a 6 out of 10. Not my favorite game in the series by any means, but certainly not a bad one. And with that, it is time to finally call this game to a close. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next game.